She should be there in about 5 minutes or less, and she would be received there. She would enter from the North Court and she would be received at the Kaveri Committee Room, which is also the study of the Presidential Palace, by President Ramnath Kovind, and then they would gather at the Darbar Hall where a ceremonial procession would be formed. They'll come out of the forecourts of the Rashtrapati Bhavan where President Kovind would be given the guard of honor for the last time, and then the procession moves to the parliament. I was mentioning the president's bodyguard, Nupur, a cavalry regiment, cavalry regiment since 1773, the oldest regiment of the Indian Army. Let's go to Madhurima. She's there in central Delhi, I believe, again at Vijay Chowk, if I'm right. And Madhurima, please tell us what's happening around you.
From Vijay Chowk over here, just right outside the parliament, and we'll take you straight to the visuals where you can see that the preparations are underway. Everything has been put to the point so as to conduct a glitch-free ceremony, and as you can see, that's right behind me is the Parliament House. Right behind me is the Parliament House, and all the preparations are being done. Droupadi Murmu began her day by going to the Rajghat, seeking the blessing of the Father of the Nation, following which she will be meeting the President, after which she will be moving towards the Central Hall of the Parliament, where she will be governed oath for the top office of the country, that is for the post of the President of India. It's an unprecedented day in the history of our country, as Droupadi Murmu, the first tribal woman, after battling through multiple battles all throughout her life and serving at multiple offices, she will be today taking oath as the president of our country. And we'll take you back to the visuals once again. You can see that we are reporting right in front of the Raisina Hill and the Parliament House as well. You can see how the officials have been stationed over here, crisp in their uniforms. These are the morning visuals that we are bringing for viewers. All preparation done, positioned at their place, and we are getting these visuals right from Raisina Hill. And these preparations are, of course, for the president of our next president of our country. Today it's a very important day, and the oath-taking ceremony will take place somewhere around 10:25 as per the schedule, following which she will be also she will be giving her first address. It's going to be a very important day. We have all ears on what Droupadi Murmu has to say.
राष्ट्रपति भवन का प्रांगण, जहां राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक मुस्तैद अब से कुछ ही देर में यहां राष्ट्रपति भवन से नव निर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति और निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष के लिए प्रस्थान करेंगे। शानदार दृश्य, और आज के मौसम में जहां कभी सूरज बादलों से निकलता हुआ और कभी बादल सूरज की रोशनी को ढकते हुए, पूरा माहौल आज के इस शानदार समारोह के लिए उपयुक्त, ऐतिहासिक अवसर और ये शानदार दृश्य राष्ट्रपति भवन से।
The President's bodyguard in their summer ceremonials. During the Republic Day parade, we see them in scarlet and gold, which are their winter ceremonials. But today, they are in their summer ceremonials. Their red and white pennants catching the light breeze and, of course, the tinkling of the fountains. A fairly warm and humid day in the capital, the rain and sun playing hide and seek, a mild breeze playing along. Srimati Droupadi Murmu, a lady whose personal life story from her humble beginnings to becoming the first citizen of this nation is a testimony to a vibrant, alive and functioning democracy, where sheer hard work, dedication, courage and of course perseverance gave her the path to chase her individual dream to bring about collective well-being through sweat, toil and belief in herself. And as she will come in as India's first citizen, as the President of India, She will keep people at the foreground.
राष्ट्रपति भवन से ये दृश्य, सामने राजपथ, विजय चौक, उसके बाद राष्ट्रपति भवन का मुख्य द्वार और ये जयपुर स्तंभ जिसके ऊपर कमल और सितारा, राष्ट्रपति भवन का शानदार गुंबद जो दूर से ही दिखता है, तांबे का बना हुआ, बहुत ही भव्य और विशाल ये राष्ट्रपति भवन और इसका ये मुख्य द्वार, लोहे का विशाल फाटक।
The majestic gate of Rashtrapati Bhavan, a work of art in themselves, going up to 6 meters in width. And of course, as we all will be witness to a beautiful ceremony here, this is the path leading out from the forecourt, and in the center is the 44-meter tall Jaipur column topped by the Star of India, and this huge panoramic vista you can see right up the gently sloping Raisina hill going through Rajpath towards India Gate. And just right at the center of attention is the central dome of Rashtrapati Bhavan. This is one of the most distinctive features of the building. 55 meters above the level of the forecourt, it has the national flag hoisted from its peak, and the central dome is twice the height of the building.
राष्ट्रपति भवन का ये प्रांगण और सामने इसमें ये खंबे, 12 खंबे सामने और 8 पीछे, यानी कुल 20 खंबे और सामने उसके हैं 31 सीढ़ियां। राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक रायसीना पहाड़ी पर राष्ट्रपति भवन के सामने नॉर्थ ब्लॉक और साउथ ब्लॉक, जहां भारत सरकार के महत्वपूर्ण मंत्रालय और प्रधानमंत्री कार्यालय यहीं मौजूद है। राष्ट्रपति भवन के ठीक सामने प्रांगण में जयपुर कॉलम 145 फीट ऊंचा है।
We are awaiting the arrival of the President-elect, Srimati Murmu. And there she is, entering Rashtrapati Bhavan, her home and office for the next 5 years.
नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का स्वागत अभिवादन कर रहे हैं निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद, उनकी पत्नी श्रीमती सविता कोविंद।
Warm smiles, warm greetings. And as the hosts lead the President-elect towards the President's study, joy writ large on every face. A special moment for everyone here.
5 वर्षों तक निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद का आधिकारिक निवास रहा राष्ट्रपति भवन, और आज से नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का आधिकारिक निवास होगा ये राष्ट्रपति भवन। संसद भवन जाने से पहले उनका औपचारिक स्वागत, राष्ट्रपति भवन में उनका आगमन हुआ है।
And as President Kovind will bid adieu to his office and makes way for Srimati Murmu, we witness another core component of democracy, that change is the only constant. and graceful transitions ensure seamless continuity. The office of the President of India has a dignity, decorum and gravitas that President Ramnath Kovind has brought in. In addition to upholding these, his earthy wisdom has added a lot.
दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र की प्रथम नागरिक के तौर पर पहली बार एक आदिवासी महिला राष्ट्रपति बैठने जा रही है। देश के सबसे पिछड़े इलाकों में शुमार ओडिशा के मयूरभंज के छोटे से कस्बे रायरंगपुर से ताल्लुक रखने वाली द्रौपदी मुर्मू का रायसीना हिल तक का सफर ये बताने के लिए काफी है कि कैसे उनके संघर्ष ने उन्हें ये मुकाम हासिल करने में मदद की। अभाव में गुजरा बचपन, युवा काल का संघर्ष, व्यक्तिगत जीवन के उतार चढ़ाव, सार्वजनिक जीवन की सादगी और बेदाग छवि, यही है वो व्यक्तित्व जो देश की पहली महिला आदिवासी राष्ट्रपति बनने जा रही है। द्रौपदी मुर्मू का जन्म भारत की आजादी के करीब 11 साल बाद 20 जून 1958 को मयूरभंज जिले के बैदापूसी गांव में हुआ। उनका परिवार संथाल आदिवासी समुदाय से ताल्लुक रखता है और उनके पिता अपनी पंचायत के मुखिया थे। द्रौपदी मुर्मू जब कार्यभार संभालेंगी तो वो इस सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर पहुंचने वाली ऐसी पहली राष्ट्रपति होंगी जो आजादी के बाद पैदा हुई है। जब द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने भारतीय लोकतंत्र के पहले नागरिक का चुनाव जीता तो देश भर में खुशी का माहौल देखने लायक था। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने भी उनकी जीत को गरीबों, पिछड़ों और हाशिए के लोगों की जीत करार दिया तो उनके प्रशासनिक अनुभव से देश को लाभ मिलने का भरोसा भी जताया। रायसीना हिल तक पहुंचने से पहले द्रौपदी मुर्मू का एक लंबा संघर्ष रहा है और उन्होंने लोगों और समाज से जुड़कर लोगों के बीच एक अलग पहचान बनाई है। साल 1979 में भुवनेश्वर के रमा देवी महिला कॉलेज से बीए पास करने वाली द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने अपने पेशेवर करियर की शुरुआत उड़ीसा सरकार के लिए क्लर्क की नौकरी से की। तब वह सिंचाई और ऊर्जा विभाग में जूनियर सहायक के पद पर थी। क्लर्क की नौकरी छोड़ने के बाद उन्होंने अपने घर रायरंगपुर में एक शिक्षक के तौर पर भी काम किया। द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने रायरंगपुर में श्री अरविंदो इंटीग्रल एजुकेशन एंड रिसर्च सेंटर में शिक्षक के तौर पर करीब 3 साल तक पढ़ाया। एक शिक्षक के तौर पर उनकी मेहनत ने उन्हें इलाके में एक नई पहचान दिलाई।
And there she is, entering Rashtrapati Bhavan, her home and office for the next 5 years.
नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का स्वागत अभिवादन कर रहे हैं निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद, उनकी पत्नी श्रीमती सविता कोविंद।
Warm smiles, warm greetings. And as the hosts lead the President-elect towards the President's study, joy writ large on every face. A special moment for everyone here.
5 वर्षों तक निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद का आधिकारिक निवास रहा राष्ट्रपति भवन और आज से नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का आधिकारिक निवास होगा ये राष्ट्रपति भवन। संसद भवन जाने से पहले उनका औपचारिक स्वागत, राष्ट्रपति भवन में उनका आगमन हुआ।
All right, so pictures on your screens are coming to you from the Rashtrapati Bhavan as we await the formal ceremonies now to begin. That's the Presidential Guard of Honor, the 61st Cavalry, which of course is one of the oldest regiments that we are seeing now, the Presidential Guard of Honor taking place. So just to tell our viewers that this is an elaborate ceremony that we're going to see in the 76th year of our independence, where the 15th President of India is being sworn in today. Droupadi Murmu is the first tribal and woman president that this country will be seeing. Just to tell our viewers about the elaborate ceremonies that we are going to be seeing today, there is, I think, a guard of honor that's also going to be given in a short while from now. Let's also bring in Rukma right now. She's joining me from the Delhi studios. Also, we have, I think, Piyush Mishra and Piyush Ori both joining us. Rukma, what we are seeing on our screens is historic because it is a tradition taking place in front of our eyes in the 76th year of our independence.
And it's against this backdrop that India's 15th and youngest President Droupadi Murmu will be sworn in, going across to our correspondent Piyush Mishra. Piyush, it's over to you. A very solemn and elaborate ceremony all set to take place. We are getting visuals of President-elect Droupadi Murmu inside Rashtrapati Bhavan. It's over to you to take us through what's happening there. What do you see around you? The significance of this day for our great nation.
नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती व्यक्ति हैं और ना ही इनके संघर्ष की गाथा साधारण है। मुश्किल से जूझने, अपना रास्ता बनाने, जन कल्याण के नित नए अवसर तलाशने और हार न मानने का जज्बा जब होता है तब व्यक्ति असाधारण बन जाता है। आज कुछ देर में नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति और निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति यहां राष्ट्रपति भवन से प्रस्थान करेंगे और उसके बाद संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष में देश के मुख्य न्यायाधीश जस्टिस एन.वी. रमन्ना नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति को शपथ दिलवाएंगे। शपथ ग्रहण के बाद 21 तोपों की सलामी दी जाएगी और फिर नए राष्ट्रपति का संसद के केंद्रीय कक्ष में संबोधन होगा। ये प्रांगण भव्य शानदार प्रांगण, जिसकी 31 सीढ़ियां और उसके बाद ये यहां पर सभी तैयारियां पूरी। राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक जिनका नेतृत्व संभाला है कर्नल अनूप तिवारी ने।
The President's bodyguard ready, awaiting the arrival at this majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan of the President and the President-elect. Srimati Droupadi Murmu's coming into Rashtrapati Bhavan as India's 15th President will strengthen the grassroots connect of the country's highest office with those who give democracy its strength, India's people, in not only big towns and cities, but in villages and far-flung areas that are seldom heard of, seen or even thought of, but hold us together as a nation, silently, strictly, and with muted expectations. There are countless stories there of humble beginnings and humble ends, but all teaching us that value of endurance, tolerance, toil, and pragmatism. And one such story today, one with humble beginnings as a village headman's daughter and granddaughter, moving on to head the largest democracy in the world as its constitutional head. Her story, of course, is inspiring, but the Santhal tribe she hails from has a long history of fighting the British, fighting injustice and fighting with honor. Patriotism runs in their blood and they epitomize the line, if you believe in something, then fight for it. Simple things make strong statements.
संथाल आदिवासी, संथाल जिन्हें कहा जाता है शांत व्यक्ति, ऐसे हैं ये संथाल आदिवासी और उसी समुदाय से हैं हमारे देश की नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू, ये विशाल और भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन, उसके सामने रायसीना पहाड़ी से नीचे की ओर विजय चौक, नॉर्थ ब्लॉक, साउथ ब्लॉक, वास्तुकला का एक शानदार नमूना। विजय चौक से भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन, जिसके एक ओर नॉर्थ ब्लॉक और दूसरी तरफ साउथ ब्लॉक। और ये दृश्य खास मौकों पर हम सब देखते हैं। आज ऐसा ही विशेष अवसर है और यहाँ निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति के साथ नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू अब कुछ ही समय में यहाँ से राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण की ओर अग्रसर हैं और वहाँ से वो प्रस्थान करेंगी माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी की साथ संसद के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर।
Specially placed cameras giving you an inside view of the galleries of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Interesting to know that there are 2.5 kilometers of corridors in Rashtrapati Bhavan. In architecture, material influences the expression royal, regal, splendid without being overbearing or overwhelming. The sandstone pink and cream combination used gives a feeling of space and dimension, new meaning. Beautifully synced together, keeping Delhi's climate in mind. We are very blessed to have a lovely light breeze blowing here in the national capital.
प्रांगण में समारोहिक और औपचारिक गतिविधियां जारी हैं। राष्ट्रपति भवन का प्रांगण, राष्ट्रपति भवन में कुल 227 खंबे हैं और इसका प्रांगण अंग्रेजी के अक्षर टी के आकार का है। मुख्य द्वार से भीतर तक दोनों ओर हरियाली और नहर है, फव्वारे हैं और यहाँ प्रांगण की लाल बजरी कालीन की तरह चमकती हुई लगती है। प्रांगण के ठीक सामने जो गुंबद है वही दरबार हॉल का गुंबद, जो दूर से ही राष्ट्रपति भवन की पहचान। बलुआ पत्थर के बने खंभों के ऊपर चारों कोनों पर घंटियों को उकेरा गया है और भव्य और शानदार इमारत राष्ट्रपति भवन, देश के प्रथम नागरिक का आधिकारिक निवास।
The work of democracy is hard, the progress of democracy is uneven, and the only path of democracy is through inclusion. Today we walk the talk of inclusion, diversity, and possibilities. As Srimati Droupadi Murmu will take oath as India's 15th President. As the first tribal woman president of India, Srimati Murmu has not only made her family, her tribe or her well-wishers proud, she's ensured that every Indian's heart, irrespective of origin or background, beats to the tune of the uplifting rhythm of pride, applause and joy. We belong to a country that breaks stereotypes, that raises eyebrows in surprise, and that believes in raising the bar for innovating, adapting, and coping.
बहुत सी बातें जो लोगों को आश्चर्य में डाल सकती हैं, लोगों को अविश्वसनीय लगे, भारतीय लोकतंत्र ऐसा करता रहता है, और जिसमें ताजा उदाहरण हमारे देश की नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति का है। साधारण पृष्ठभूमि से आने वाली और उसके बाद देश के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर पहुंचकर उन्होंने करोड़ों करोड़ों मन को प्रेरित किया है, और भविष्य में ये संदेश भी दिया है उन्होंने कि संघर्षों से जूझना है, लड़ना है और आगे बढ़ना है।
The President's bodyguard here, their commandant, Colonel Anup Tiwari, the second in command, Lieutenant Colonel Ramakant Yadav.
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षकों की रेजिमेंट भारतीय सेना की सबसे पुरानी रेजिमेंट है, और इस रेजिमेंट की स्थापना सन 1773 में वॉरेन हेस्टिंग्स ने की थी। सबसे पहले इसे द गार्ड ऑफ मुगल्स कहा गया था, लेकिन बाद में इसे अनेक नाम दिए गए। इस रेजिमेंट का गठन एक विशिष्ट घुड़सवार यूनिट के रूप में हुआ। स्वतंत्रता के बाद कई बार राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक ने अनेक युद्ध में अपने युद्ध कौशल का परिचय दिया। राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक के सैनिक समारोहिक औपचारिकताओं में दक्ष हैं, वे प्रशिक्षित घुड़सवार और कुशल टैंक चालक भी हैं।
The President's bodyguard on magnificent dark bay and bay-colored mounts. And in fact, the guards are riding steeds that are the tallest held by any mounted unit in the country, at a minimum of 15.5 hands. And these magnificent horses are very well looked after by the 44 Military Veterinary Hospital. A unique, distinct regiment. The personnel are handpicked, all of them at least 6 feet tall. And of course, besides performing ceremonial duties for the President, the officers and men of the bodyguards are trained horsemen, paratroopers and tanksmen. Chushul in 1962, in the Western Theatre in 1965, and in Operation Bhavan in Sri Lanka in 1988. They've all seen action there. The flag fluttering high, indicating that the President is in Rashtrapati Bhavan, in residence. Equality, freedom, justice, pluralism, tolerance, respect, participation. The list of values that a democracy stands for include that which has been stated by earlier generations and also those which evolve as time goes by. To keep up with the times, to yet bring in tradition so that the past and the future are connected by the present. That is a legacy we leave behind.
नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति का जीवन महिलाओं और बालिकाओं के लिए बड़ी प्रेरणा है। ज्यादातर समाजों में हमने देखा है कि लिंग भेद होता है, बेटा बेटी में भेद किया जाता है, और ऐसे में बालिकाओं के सामने, महिलाओं के सामने संघर्ष और भी ज्यादा कठिन हो जाता है। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में सरकार ने बालिका विकास के लिए कई कदम उठाए हैं, जिनमें बेटियों को बचाने के लिए बेटियों को बचाओ, और इसी के साथ बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, सुकन्या समृद्धि योजना, सीबीएसई की उड़ान योजना, लड़कियों के लिए मुफ्त या राज सहायता प्राप्त शिक्षा, कॉलेजों और विश्वविद्यालयों में महिलाओं के लिए आरक्षण, माध्यमिक शिक्षा के लिए लड़कियों को प्रेरित करने की राष्ट्रीय योजना। इसके साथ साथ जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात आ जाती है वो ये कि जितने भी अवसर हैं उसमें कहीं कोई भेदभाव ना हो, समानता हो, लड़कों के बराबर उन्हें भी आगे बढ़ने के वो सभी अवसर प्राप्त हों और ये सुनिश्चित हो घर से। वो समाज जब भेद नहीं करता, जब बेटा और बेटी समान हैं, तब वो समाज पूरी तरह से विकसित होता है, विकास करता है। ये ऐसी कहानियां हैं जो प्रेरणादायी हैं और जिनकी मिसालें आने वाली पीढ़ियां भी देंगी।
In a short while from now, we shall see the arrival here at the forecourt of the President, Shri Ramnath Kovind, and the President-elect, Srimati Droupadi Murmu. As the constitutional head of the country, the President is de facto also the first citizen of India, playing a significant role of the head of state of India. The President is also the supreme commander of the three Indian armed forces. It is laid down in our constitution that the President has the responsibility and the authority to accord with, to defend and protect the Constitution and its rule of law. The Constitution, which is the basis of our democracy. The Constitution, which shows us the way whenever we tend to get lost. The Constitution, which ensures the values of dignity for all, equality, equity, brotherhood, fraternity, and justice.
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक मुस्तैद राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में दरबार हॉल के सामने, ये प्रांगण की मुख्य सीढ़ियां, और अब से कुछ देर में नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति और निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति दोनों यहां पधारेंगे। उसके बाद उन्हें राष्ट्रीय सैल्यूट दिया जाएगा और फिर वो प्रस्थान करेंगे संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर। ये दृश्य राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर से, और यहाँ दरबार हॉल में निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति और नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति
Information and informal procession. The President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, and the President-elect of India, Srimati Droupadi Murmu, going past and through the Darbar Hall. Under the shadow of Lord Buddha, 5th century BC Gupta period. dignitaries moving towards the dais for the national salute.
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक सलामी देगा राष्ट्र सल्यूट मध्य
President Ramnath Kovind sitting in his vehicle, and accompanying him the President-elect Srimati Droupadi Murmu as they make their way towards Parliament House.
राष्ट्रपति भवन से नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू और निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद प्रस्थान कर रहे हैं संसद भवन के केंद्रीय कक्ष की ओर। उनके साथ राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक विशाल भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण से ये काफिला अब धीरे धीरे राष्ट्रपति भवन के मुख्य द्वार की ओर बढ़ता हुआ भारत के लोकतंत्र का एक महत्वपूर्ण दिन, खास मौका। देश की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति अब से कुछ ही देर में शपथ लेंगी। रायसीना पहाड़ी पर बना विशाल और भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन, जिसकी नींव सन 1911 में रखी गई थी और इसी के जयपुर कॉलम के नजदीक से गुजर रहा है ये काफिला जो अग्रसर है संसद भवन की ओर।
The President's limousine is escorted by the President's bodyguard proceeding to gate number 5 of Parliament House. In fact, the 6 Sikh will turn out guard at the southern side of the Jaipur column for departure. Commanding Officer Colonel S.K. Mohanty, personnel from the 3 services, and we showed you shots of this earlier, have lined up the path with arms on the route and will present arms as the dignitaries pass by.
राष्ट्रपति भवन की भव्यता, प्रांगण दोनों ओर नहर और फव्वारे और काफिला धीरे धीरे मुख्य द्वार की ओर बढ़ता हुआ। विशाल लोहे का मुख्य द्वार जो विशेष अवसरों पर खोला जाता है, और आज ऐसा ही विशेष अवसर है जब भारत की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति अब से कुछ ही देर में शपथ ग्रहण करेंगी। निवर्तमान राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद का कार्यकाल पूरा हो रहा है। और ये काफिला धीरे धीरे रायसीना पहाड़ी से अब विजय चौक की ओर बढ़ता हुआ, वहां से बाईं ओर संसद भवन है जो गंतव्य है इस काफिले का।
it's a very poignant moment, reflective moment for President Ramnath Kovind, and of course, a joyous and celebratory moment for Srimati Murmu, but also knowing that she has a task ahead and to serve the country to the best of her ability. The guard and personnel from the three services lining the path with the fundamental responsibility of maintaining the integrity of the Constitution of India. The President of the largest democracy in the world is vested with specific legislative and judicial and financial powers, among many others, to ensure that the sanctity of the Constitution is upheld. And Indian democracy is the result of the great gift our founding fathers gave us. The gift of a constitution that, other than being the longest written constitution in the world, holds in its embrace the firmness to provide us solid and strong roots and the liberalism to give us wings to grow, fly and change. And as we await the swearing-in ceremony of India's 15th president to take place, Srimati Droupadi Murmu will soon hold with her the sacred responsibility of maintaining the integrity of this constitution as the new president of India.
ये काफिला रायसीना पहाड़ी से विजय चौक की ओर बढ़ता हुआ और दोनों ओर तीनों सेनाओं के पर्सनल पूरे मार्ग में। बहुत ही खास अवसर, देश के राष्ट्रपति संवैधानिक प्रमुख होते हैं, तीनों सेनाओं के सर्वोच्च कमांडर होते हैं और देश के प्रथम नागरिक होते हैं। बहुत ही खास अवसर जब एक राष्ट्रपति का कार्यकाल पूरा हो रहा है और नई राष्ट्रपति इस पद की जिम्मेदारी अब से कुछ देर में ग्रहण करेंगी।
There invariably is, as a form of mainstream dialogue, a recurring reference to the values a democratic nation rests on, and moving these values from paper to people is the true test of democratic governance. Srimati Murmu, as she will shortly take oath today, will be wanting to ensure that she centers her tenure around these values and principles. The values and principles that she has always held dear, in sync with the form of governance she sits atop as its constitutional head. Principles of action that sustain society and democracy to be stable and successful at both the political and social levels. And it is because the scope of these often are justified and vehemently defended values is so far-reaching that they are debated and discussed at the public level. The President's limousine on its way to gate number 5.
जन कल्याण की यात्रा सतत निरंतर चलती रहती है। भारतीय लोकतंत्र के लिए एक बेहद शानदार दिन, जहां सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पदों पर किस तरीके से हस्तांतरण होता है, ये इसके हम सब गवाह बन रहे हैं, साक्षी बन रहे हैं। और ये हमारे लोकतंत्र की, हमारी लोकतांत्रिक विरासत की ये खूबसूरत तस्वीर। संसद भवन के निकट पहुंचता हुआ ये काफिला कुछ ही देर में संसद भवन के गेट नंबर 5 पर पहुंचेगा।
motorcade making its entry to Parliament House.
संसद भवन में दाखिल होता हुआ ये काफिला
The car cave has arrived in the Parliament House. The outgoing President, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, along with the President-elect, Madam Droupadi Murmu, have now reached the venue, the Central Hall of Parliament, wherein, in just a few moments from now, Madam Droupadi Murmu will be sworn in as the 15th President of India. Only the second woman President of the country, the first tribal President, also the youngest President India has ever had. The President-elect being welcomed by Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. Along with him is Chief Justice of India, Mr. N. V. Ramanna, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla as well. Both the outgoing President and the President-elect being accorded the welcome outside the Central Hall of Parliament. It's been 5 years when the outgoing president escorts the president-elect from the Rashtrapati Bhavan to the parliament premises, wherein in the iconic Central Hall of Parliament, the president-elect takes oath of office. Madam Droupadi Murmu will, in a short while from now, take oath as the 15th President of India in the presence of Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, members of the Union Cabinet, also the Chief Ministers of various states, state governors as well, and a host of other dignitaries in attendance inside the Central Hall of Parliament. Chief Justice of India, Mr. N.V. Ramanna, will administer the oath of office to Madam Droupadi Murmu, who will, in a short while from now, take oath as the 15th President of India from the iconic Central Hall of Parliament.
बिल्कुल अपने आप में ये ऐतिहासिक तस्वीरें कुछ ही पलों में नवनिर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू देश के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद की शपथ लेंगी। आजादी के बाद जन्म लेने वाली वो पहली राष्ट्रपति होंगी, साथ ही दूसरी महिला राष्ट्रपति और जनजातीय समुदाय से राष्ट्रपति पद तक का सफर तय करने वाली पहली महिला।
राष्ट्रपति महोदय, आदेश हो तो निर्वाचन आयोग से प्राप्त निर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति के निर्वाचन का प्रमाणन पढ़ा जाए। यतः भारत के संविधान के अनुच्छेद 324 द्वारा भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद के निर्वाचन का अधीक्षण, निर्देशन और नियंत्रण भारत निर्वाचन आयोग में निहित है और यतः श्री रामनाथ कोविंद की पदावधि का अवसान वर्ष 2022 के जुलाई मास के 24वें दिन तदनुसार शक संवत के वर्ष 1944 के श्रावण मास के दूसरे दिन होने के लिए नियत है और यतः भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद को भरने के लिए संविधान तथा राष्ट्रपतीय और उपराष्ट्रपतीय निर्वाचन अधिनियम 1952 के उपबंधों और तदधीन बनाए गए नियमों और आदेशों के अनुसार निर्वाचन करा लिया गया है तथा परिणाम घोषित कर दिया गया है। अब इसलिए भारत निर्वाचन आयोग एतद द्वारा प्रमाणित करता है कि श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू वर्ष वर्ष 2022 के जुलाई मास के 21वें दिन तदनुसार शक संवत के वर्ष 1944 के आषाढ़ मास के 30वें दिन भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद के लिए सम्यक रूप से निर्वाचित हो गई हैं। भारत गणराज्य के 73वें वर्ष में हमारे हस्ताक्षर और भारत निर्वाचन आयोग की मोहर से वर्ष 2022 के जुलाई मास के इस 21वें दिन तदनुसार शक संवत के वर्ष 1944 के आषाढ़ मास के 30वें दिन प्रदत्त किया गया।
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू
ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन करूँगी सदा अपनी पूरी योग्यता से संविधान और विधि का परिरक्षण, संरक्षण और प्रतिरक्षण करूंगी और मैं भारत की जनता की सेवा और कल्याण में निरत रहूंगी
राष्ट्रपति महोदया, आपका आदेश हो तो आपके पद ग्रहण की उद्घोषणा की जाए और उसे भारत के राजपत्र में प्रकाशित किया जाए। इसकी सूचना प्रमुख सेना केंद्रों तथा विदेश स्थित सभी भारतीय मिशनों, राज्य सरकारों तथा संघ शासित प्रदेशों क्षेत्रों के प्रशासकों को भेजी जाए। भारत सरकार के सभी मंत्रालयों और विभागों को भी सूचना तथा आवश्यक आदेश जारी करने हेतु भेजा जाए।
आदरणीय श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी, उपराष्ट्रपति श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी, प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, लोकसभा के स्पीकर श्री ओम बिरला जी, चीफ जस्टिस एन.वी. रमन्ना जी, सम्मानित सांसदगण, अन्य महानुभावों, देवियों और स्वजनों तथा मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, सभी को जोहार। भारत के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर निर्वाचित करने के लिए मैं सभी सांसदों और सभी विधानसभा सदस्यों का हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। आपका मत देश के करोड़ों नागरिकों के विश्वास की अभिव्यक्ति है। मैं भारत के समस्त नागरिकों की आशा, आकांक्षा और अधिकारों की प्रतीक इस पवित्र संसद से सभी देशवासियों का पूरी विनम्रता से अभिनंदन करता हूं। आपकी आत्मीयता, आपका विश्वास और आपका सहयोग मेरे लिए इस नए दायित्व का निभाने में मेरी बहुत बड़ी ताकत रही। मुझे राष्ट्रपति के रूप में देश ने एक ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण कालखंड में चुना है जब हम अपनी आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं। आज से कुछ दिन बाद ही देश अपनी स्वाधीनता के 75 वर्ष पूरी करेगा। ये भी एक संयोग है कि जब देश अपनी आज़ादी के 50वें वर्ष का पर्व मना रहा था, तभी मेरे राजनीतिक जीवन की शुरुआत हुई थी। और आज आज़ादी के 75वें वर्ष में मुझे ये नया दायित्व मिला है। इस ऐतिहासिक समय में जब भारत अगले 25 वर्षों के विजन को हासिल करने के लिए पूरी ऊर्जा से जुटा हुआ है, मुझे ये जिम्मेदारी मिलना मेरा बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है। मैं देश की ऐसी पहली राष्ट्रपति भी हूँ जिसका जन्म आज़ाद भारत में हुआ है। हमारे स्वाधीनता सेनानियों ने आज़ाद हिंदुस्तान के हम नागरिकों से जो अपेक्षाएं की थी, उनकी पूर्ति के लिए इस अमृत काल में हमें तेज गति से काम करना होगा। इन 25 वर्षों में अमृतकाल की सिद्धि का रास्ता 2 पटरी पर आगे बढ़ेगा, सबका प्रयास और सबका कर्तव्य। भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य की नई विकास यात्रा हमें सबके प्रयास से करनी है, कर्तव्य पथ पर चलते हुए करनी ही है। काल यानी 26 जुलाई को कारगिल विजय दिवस भी है। ये दिन भारत की सेनाओं के शौर्य और संयम दोनों का ही प्रतीक है। मैं आज देश की सेनाओं को तथा देश के समस्त नागरिकों को कारगिल विजय दिवस की अग्रिम शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ। देवियों और स्वजनों, मैंने अपनी जीवन यात्रा पूर्वी भारत में ओडिशा के एक छोटे से आदिवासी गांव से शुरू की थी। मैं जिस पृष्ठभूमि से आती हूँ, वहाँ मेरे लिए प्रारंभिक शिक्षा प्राप्त करना भी एक सपने जैसा ही था। लेकिन अनेक बाधाओं के बावजूद मेरा संकल्प दृढ़ रहा और मैं कॉलेज जाने वाली अपने गांव की पहली बेटी थी। मैं जनजातीय समाज से हूँ और वार्ड काउंसिलर से लेकर भारत की राष्ट्रपति बनने तक का अवसर मुझे मिला है। ये लोकतंत्र की जननी भारतवर्ष की महानता है। ये हमारे लोकतंत्र की ही शक्ति है कि उसमें एक गरीब घर के पैदा होने बेटी, दूर सुदूर आदिवासी क्षेत्र में पैदा हुई बेटी भारत के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद तक पहुंच सकती है। राष्ट्रपति के पद पहुंचना मेरी व्यक्तिगत उपलब्धि नहीं है, ये भारत की प्रत्येक गरीब की उपलब्धि है। मेरा निर्वाचन इस बात का सबूत है कि भारत में गरीब सपने भी देख सकता है और उन्हें पूरा भी कर सकता है। और ये मेरे लिए बहुत संतोष की बात है कि जो सदियों से वंचित रहे, जो जीवन विकास के लाभ से दूर रहे, वे गरीब, दलित, पिछड़े तथा आदिवासी मुझे ये अपना प्रतिबिंब देख सकते हैं। मेरे इस निर्वाचन में देश के गरीब व का आशीर्वाद शामिल है। देश की करोड़ों महिलाओं और बेटियों के सपनों और सामर्थ्य की झलक है। मेरे इस निर्वाचन में पुराने लीग से हटकर नए रास्ते पर चलने वाले भारत के आज के युवाओं का साहस भी शामिल है। ऐसे प्रगतिशील भारत का नेतृत्व करते हुए आज मैं खुद को गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रही हूँ। मैं आज समस्त देशवासियों को, विशेषकर भारत के युवाओं को तथा भारत की महिलाओं को ये विश्वास दिलाती हूँ कि इस पद पर कार्य करते हुए मेरे लिए उनके हित सर्वोपरि होंगे। देवियों और स्वजनों, मेरे सामने भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद की ऐसी महान विरासत है जिसने विश्व में भारतीय लोकतंत्र की प्रतिष्ठा का निरंतर मजबूत किया है। देश के प्रथम राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद से लेकर श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी तक अनेक विभूतियों ने इस पद को सुशोभित किया है। इस पद के साथ साथ देश ने इस महान परंपरा के प्रतिनिधित्व का दायित्व भी मुझे सौंपा है। संविधान के आलोक में मैं पूरी निष्ठा से अपने कर्तव्य का निर्वहन करूंगी। मेरे लिए भारत के लोकतांत्रिक, सांस्कृतिक आदर्श और सभी देशवासी हमेशा मेरे ऊर्जा के स्रोत रहेंगे। देवियों और स्वजनों, हमारे संवैधानिक संग्राम में, स्वाधीनता संग्राम में एक राष्ट्र के तौर पर भारत की नई यात्रा की रूपरेखा तैयार की है। हमारा स्वाधीनता संग्राम उन संघर्षों और बलिदानों की अविरल धारा है जिसने आजाद भारत के लिए कितनी ही आदर्शों और संभावनाओं की सिंचा था। पूज्य बापू ने हमें स्वराज, स्वदेशी, स्वच्छता और सत्याग्रह द्वारा भारत के सांस्कृतिक आदर्शों की स्थापना का मार्ग दिखाया था। नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस, नेहरू जी, सरदार पटेल, बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर, भगत सिंह, सुखदेव, राजगुरु, चंद्रशेखर आजाद जैसे अनगिनत स्वाधीनता सेनानियों ने हमें राष्ट्र के स्वाभिमान को सर्वोपरि रखने की शिक्षा दी थी। रानी लक्ष्मीबाई, रानी वेलु नाचियार, रानी गाईदिन्लु और रानी चेन्निमा जैसी अनेकों वीरांगनाओं ने राष्ट्र इच्छा और राष्ट्र निर्माण में नारी शक्ति की भूमिका को नई ऊर्जा दी है। संथाल क्रांति, पाइक क्रांति से लेकर कोल क्रांति और भील क्रांति ने स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में आदिवासी योगदान को और सशक्त किया। सामाजिक उत्थान एवं देश प्रेम के लिए धरती आबा भगवान बिरसा मुंडा जी के बलिदान से हमें प्रेरणा मिली थी। मुझे खुशी है कि आज़ादी की लड़ाई में जनजातीय समुदाय के योगदान को समर्पित अनेक म्यूजियम देश भर में बनवाया जा रहा है। देवियों और स्वजनों, एक संसदीय लोकतंत्र के रूप में 75 वर्ष में भारत ने प्रगति के संकल्प को सहभागिता एवं सर्वसम्मति से आगे बढ़ाया है। विविधताओं से भरे अपने देश में हम अनेक भाषा, धर्म, संप्रदाय, खान पान, रहन सहन, रीति रिवाजों का अपनाते हुए एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के निर्माण में सक्रिय है। आजादी के 75वें वर्ष के अवसर पर आया है अमृतकाल। भारत के लिए नए संकल्पों का कालखंड है। आज मैं इस नए युग के स्वागत में अपने देश को नई सोच के साथ तत्पर और तैयार देख रही हूँ। भारत आज हर क्षेत्र में विकास का नया अध्याय जोड़ रहा है। कोरोना महामारी के वैश्विक संकट का सामना करने में भारत ने जिस तरह का सामर्थ्य दिखाया है, उसने पूरे विश्व में भारत की साख बढ़ाया है। हम हिंदुस्तानियों ने अपने प्रयासों से न सिर्फ इस वैश्विक चुनौती का सामना किया, बल्कि दुनिया के सामने नए मापदंड भी स्थापित किए। कुछ दिन पहले भारत ने कोरोना वैक्सीन की 200 करोड़ डोज लगाने का कीर्तिमान बनाया। इस पूरी लड़ाई में भारत के लोगों ने जिस संयम, साहस और सहयोग का परिचय दिया, वो एक समाज के रूप में हमारी बढ़ती हुई शक्ति और संवेदनशीलता का प्रतीक है। भारत ने इन मुश्किल हालात में न केवल खुद को संभाला, बल्कि दुनिया की मदद भी की। कोरोना महामारी से बने माहौल में आज दुनिया भारत को नए विश्वास से देख रही है। दुनिया की आर्थिक स्थिरता के लिए, सप्लाई चेन की सुगमता के लिए और वैश्विक शांति के लिए दुनिया को भारत से बहुत उम्मीदें हैं। आगामी महीनों में भारत अपनी अध्यक्षता में G20 ग्रुप की मेजबानी भी करने जा रही है। इसमें दुनिया के 20 बड़े देश भारत की अध्यक्षता में वैश्विक विषयों पर मंथन करेंगे। मुझे विश्वास है भारत में होने वाले इस मंथन से जो निष्कर्ष और नीतियां निर्धारित होंगे, उनसे आने वाले दशकों की दिशा तय होगी। देवियों और स्वजनों, दशकों पहले मुझे रायरंगपुर में श्री अरबिंदो इंटीग्रल स्कूल में शिक्षक के रूप में कार्य करने का अवसर मिला था। कुछ ही दिनों के बाद श्री अरबिंदो जी की 150वीं जन्म जयंती मनाई जाएगी। शिक्षा के बारे में श्री अरबिंदो के विचारों ने मुझे निरंतर प्रेरित किया है। जनप्रतिनिधि के रूप में विभिन्न पदों पर कार्य करते हुए और फिर राज्यपाल के रूप में भी मेरा शिक्षण संस्थानों के साथ सक्रिय जुड़ाव रहा है। मैंने देश के युवाओं के उत्साह और आत्मबल को करीब से देखा है। हम सभी के श्रद्धेय अटल जी कहा करते थे कि देश के युवा जब आगे बढ़ते हैं तो वे सिर्फ अपने ही भाग्य नहीं बनाते, बल्कि देश का भी भाग्य बनाते हैं। आज हम इसे सोच होते देख रहे हैं। वोकल फॉर लोकल से लेकर डिजिटल इंडिया तक हर क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ रहा आज का भारत विश्व के साथ कदम से कदम मिलाकर औद्योगिक क्रांति 4.0 के लिए पूरी तरह भारत तैयार है। रिकॉर्ड संख्या में बन रहे स्टार्टअप्स में, नए नए इनोवेशंस में, दूर सुदूर क्षेत्रों में डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी की स्वीकार्यता में भारत के युवाओं की बड़ी भूमिका है। बीती वर्षों में भारत ने जिस तरह महिला सशक्तिकरण के लिए निर्णय लिए, नीतियां बनाई गई है, इससे भी देश में एक नई शक्ति का संचार हुआ है। मैं चाहती हूँ कि हमारी सभी बहनें व बेटियां अधिक से अधिक सशक्त हो तथा वे देश के हर क्षेत्र में अपना योगदान बढ़ाती रहें। मैं अपने देश के युवाओं से कहना चाहती हूँ कि आप न केवल अपने भविष्य का निर्माण कर रहे हैं, बल्कि भविष्य के भारत की नींव भी रख रहे हैं। देश के राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर मेरा हमेशा आपको पूरा सहयोग रहेगा। देवियों और सजों, विकास और प्रगतिशीलता का अर्थ निरंतर आगे बढ़ना होता है, लेकिन साथ ही अपने अतीत का ज्ञान भी उतना ही आवश्यक है। आज जो विश्व सस्टेनेबल प्लैनेट की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें भारत की प्राचीन परंपराओं, हमारे अतीत की सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल की भूमिका और बढ़ जाती है। मेरा जन्म तो उस जनजातीय परंपरा से हुआ है जिसने हजारों वर्ष से प्रकृति के साथ तालमेल बनाकर जीवन को आगे बढ़ाया है। मैंने जंगल और जलाशयों के महत्व को अपने जीवन में महसूस किया है। हम प्रकृति से जरूरी संसाधन लेते हैं और उतनी ही श्रद्धा से प्रकृति से सेवा भी करते हैं। यहाँ संवेदनशीलता का आज वैश्विक अनिवार्यता बन गया है। मुझे इस बात की प्रसन्नता है कि भारत पर्यावरण संरक्षण के क्षेत्र में विश्व का मार्गदर्शक बन रहा है। देवियों और स्वजन, मैंने अपने अब तक के जीवन में जौन सेवा में ही जीवन की सार्थकता को अनुभव किया है। श्री जगन्नाथ क्षेत्र के एक प्रख्यात कवि भीम भोई जी की कविता की एक पंक्ति है, मो जीवन पछे नर्क के पड़ी था जगत उद्धार है। अर्थात अपने जीवन के हित और हित से बड़ा जगत कल्याण के लिए कार्य करना होता है। जगत कल्याण की इसी भावना के साथ मैं आप सबके विश्वास पर खरा उतरने के लिए पूरी निष्ठा व लगन से काम करने के लिए सदैव तत्पर रहूंगी। आइए हम सभी एकजुट होकर समर्पित भाव से कर्तव्य पथ पर आगे बढ़े तथा वैभवशाली व आत्मनिर्भर भारत का निर्माण करें। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय।
Honorable President, Srimati Droupadi Murmu ji, respected Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi ji, Speaker of Lok Sabha Sri Om Birla ji, Chief Justice of India Sri N.V. Ramana ji, respected parliamentarians, other dignitaries, brothers and sisters, and my dear fellow citizens, Namaskar. Madam President, you have just addressed the members of the Parliament. I wish to read a few paragraphs from the English version of the address, and the rest may be considered as read in view of the time constraint. I express my heartfelt gratitude to all members of Parliament and legislative assemblies for electing me to the highest constitutional post of India. Brothers and sisters, we have to work at a fast pace in this Amrit Kal to fulfill the expectations of our freedom fighters from the citizens of independent India. In these 25 years, the path to attain the goals of Amrit Kal will proceed on two tracks, Sabka Prayas or Sabka Kartavya, everyone's effort and everyone's duty. The new development journey towards the bright future of India has to be undertaken by our collective efforts following the path of duty. We will be observing Kargil Vijay Divas tomorrow, July 26th. This day is a symbol of both the bravery and the restraint of the Indian armed forces. Today, I extend my best wishes in advance to the armed forces of the country and to all the citizens of India. Brothers and sisters, growth and progress mean continuously marching ahead. But equally important is awareness about one's past. Today, when the world is talking about sustainable planet, the role of India's ancient traditions and sustainable lifestyle becomes more important. I was born in the tribal tradition which has lived in harmony with the nature for thousands of years. I have realized the importance of forests and water bodies in my life. We take necessary resources from nature and serve nature with equal reverence. This sensitivity has become a global imperative today. I am happy that India is guiding the world in the field of environmental protection. Brothers and sisters, in my life so far, I have realized the meaning of life only through public service. There is a line from the poem of Bhim Bhoi Ji, a famous poet of Sri Jagannath Kshetra. Mo jibana bacche, narke paditao, jagata uddar hev. That is, working for the welfare of the world is far greater than one's own interest. With the spirit of welfare of the world, it always be ready to work. All of us, with full devotion and dedication, to live up to the trust you all have reposed in me. Let us all unite and move forward on the path of duty with a dedicated spirit to build a glorious and self-reliant India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
राष्ट्रपति महोदय, आपकी आज्ञा हो तो समारोह की कार्यवाही समाप्त की जाए।
Just we are seeing the President of India, Droupadi Murmu, moving out of the Central Hall of Parliament after having taken oath and made her first address to the nation. All the dignitaries present there, led by Prime Minister, welcoming, and as she moves out, along with outgoing President Ramnath Kovind. In fact, he's no more the President, it's Droupadi Murmu, the President, and the dignitaries moving out. In fact, some parts of the ceremony still remain. In fact, from here on, the President would be going back to the presidential palace, accompanied by Ramnath Kovind, of course. And there, once she reaches the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Samiksha, she would be given the first guard of honor by the President's bodyguard. Now, of course, the ceremonial procession, as she is led out by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Om Birla, Vice President, also Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Venkaiah Naidu. Let's go back to the
successive president to have been sworn in today. Madam Droupadi Murmu was sworn in as the 15th President of India a short while ago. The oath of office was administered to her by Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna. The ceremony has now concluded. In fact, after the oath-taking ceremony, which was followed by a 21-gun salute and the first address of the 15th President, which was then, excerpts of which were also translated in English and read out by Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu. The ceremony in the Central Hall of Parliament has now concluded. And as you can see, the 14th President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, the new President, Madam President Murmu, along with other dignitaries now leaving for the Rashtrapati Bhavan.
तो तमाम इतिहास जो आज इस शपथ ग्रहण समारोह के साथ हमने बनते देखे, आज़ादी के बाद जन्म लेने वाली पहली राष्ट्रपति देश को मिली है। साथ ही हम देख रहे हैं कि अब राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर रवाना होंगी और राष्ट्रपति भवन के फोरकोर्ट में हैंडिंग ओवर सेरेमनी होगी और इसके बाद राष्ट्रपति भवन से रामनाथ कोविंद विदा होंगे। द्रौपदी मुर्मू देश की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति बन गई हैं। संसद भवन से ये सीधी तस्वीरें आप देख पा रहे हैं। देश में दूसरी बार सर्वोच्च पद पर महिला आसीन हुई हैं। कई मायनों में आज हमने इतिहास को बनते देखा है और तमाम बड़ी बातें जो आज राष्ट्रपति पद की शपथ लेने के बाद राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने कही हैं। उन्होंने नई भारत की नई तस्वीर का जिक्र किया और कहा कि वो तमाम देशवासियों की जो आशाएं हैं, आकांक्षाएं हैं, उनका अभिनंदन करती हैं और सबसे बड़ी बात कि एक महत्वपूर्ण कालखंड है जिस दिन उन्होंने राष्ट्रपति पद की शपथ ली है। देश आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है। उन्होंने इस बात का भी जिक्र किया कि एक और महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव जब देश ने आज़ादी के 50 साल पूरे किए, उस वक्त उन्होंने अपने राजनीतिक सफर की शुरुआत की और आज जब देश अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है, उस वक्त उन्होंने राष्ट्रपति पद की शपथ ली है।
Absolutely, and significantly, as the new Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Armed Forces, the President also hailed the contribution, the grit, the valor of the security forces, the Indian Armed Forces, who continue to guard us. And as 26th of July is remarkable in Indian history, we celebrate Kargil Vijay Divas on this very day. Just a day before that, Madam President Murmu has taken oath as the 15th President, and the President in India is the Commander of the Indian Armed Forces.
All right, those pictures of President Droupadi Murmu being serenaded by the presidential bodyguards back from Parliament to Rashtrapati Bhavan, where she would be bidding a final goodbye to outgoing President Ramnath Kovind. And in the pictures we see the carcade now following the President's bodyguard, which have already taken the President's limousine with them. In a while, we would see the carcade and the ceremonial procession coming out from the North Gate. Yes, we see them in the pictures now, coming from the North Gate of Parliament and on towards the Vijay Chowk.
शपथ ग्रहण के बाद संसद के केंद्रीय कक्ष से उनका प्रस्थान उनके आधिकारिक निवास राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर उनका काफिला संसद भवन से प्रस्थान करता हुआ 25 जुलाई 2022 का दिन इतिहास में दर्ज होता हुआ देश के छठे राष्ट्रपति नीलम संजीव रेड्डी ने 25 जुलाई 1977 को शपथ ली थी। उसके बाद हर राष्ट्रपति ने अपना कार्यकाल पूरा किया है और 25 जुलाई को ही शपथ ली है। राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक राष्ट्रपति के काफिले के आगे आगे और उनके साथ नई राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू अपने आधिकारिक निवास राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर, ये काफिला विजय चौक से अब रायसीना पहाड़ी की ओर बढ़ता हुआ।
Srimati Droupadi Murmu is now the 15th President of the Republic of India. She now sits as the constitutional head of the nation. As the President's bodyguard, escort the President's carcade towards Rashtrapati Bhavan. Personnel of the armed forces lined on either side of the path, going up the Raisina hill, salute and present arms. It's a special day for the nation, not only because of Srimati Murmu's selection and election as president, a great message for democracy in itself, but also witnessing the graceful, smooth transition of power. The exchanging of positions as seated in the vehicle, the exchanging of positions as seated in the study, all indicative of how power transitions. The seat of power, the North Block, the South Block, the seat of governance, the Parliament House, all standing silent witness to this special moment.
ये समारोह बेहद भव्य और परंपरा से भरा हुआ। इसमें ध्यान से देखें तो ये समझ में आएगा कि किस तरह शपथ ग्रहण से पहले और बाद में जो क्रम होता है पूर्व राष्ट्रपति का और वर्तमान राष्ट्रपति का, वो किस प्रकार से बदलता है। और यही हमारे इस प्रजातंत्र की विशेषता है, जहां हस्तांतरण सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर जिस प्रकार से होता है वो मिसाल है। और पारंपरिक भव्यता के साथ इन कर्तव्यों का निर्वाह किया जाता है। एक नया अध्याय भारत के प्रजातांत्रिक इतिहास में जुड़ता हुआ भारत की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू और उनके साथ अब पूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर अग्रसर हैं। विजय चौक से रायसीना पहाड़ी की ओर दोनों ओर तीनों सेवाओं के पर्सनल तैनात उन्हें सम्मान देते हुए और सजीले घुड़सवार अंगरक्षक रायसीना पहाड़ी पर मुख्य द्वार जो भव्यता का प्रतीक इस भव्य और आलीशान इमारत राष्ट्रपति भवन का यहां से काफिला अब इसके मुख्य प्रांगण की ओर।
We can see the imposing dome, the Jaipur column, and the pathway leading up to the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan. With high positions comes a higher sense of responsibility. Power has as its companion, a constant companion, responsibility. The working on the advice of the elected government, the President of India, is the protector of the Constitution. Srimati Murmu, as our new President, will hold in her heart and her hands a responsibility to ensure that the last mile, the last person is connected, interconnected, and belongs to a nation called India, a nation that is progressing. The last person has an equal share in the growth, prosperity, and progress of the nation to actually make democracy truly meaningful.
बिल्कुल, अपने कार्यकाल के दौरान ऐसे कई क्षण होते हैं, कई अवसर होते हैं जब राष्ट्रपति की भूमिका बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाती है और राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू, जिन्हें सामाजिक जीवन का, जिनका अपना खुद का जीवन सादा और ज़मीन से उनका जुड़ाव, वो समझती हैं एक साधारण व्यक्ति के दर्द को भी, उसके संघर्ष को भी, उसकी आकांक्षाओं को भी, भविष्य के उनके निर्णयों के लिए उनका यह अनुभव बहुत ही सार्थक और बहुत ही प्रासंगिक होगा। देश के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर देश के प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के हित के लिए निर्णय लेते हुए उनका अपना निजी अनुभव, जो उनका जीवन है, वो अनुकरणीय है।
In fact, Srimati Droupadi Murmu started her political career at the grassroots level as a councillor. And after that, her movement upwards, also as the first woman governor of Jharkhand. She has faced immense challenges. She has had to take many important decisions. But now she will be keeping the nation and the Constitution ahead of all her decisions, arriving here at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan, to her official residence now.
पूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद का आगमन राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में। राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू
राष्ट्रपति अंगरक्षक सलामी देगा। राष्ट्रीय सल्यूट मध्य तक।
PBG Commandant Colonel Anup Tawari giving the command. The President of India, Srimati Droupadi Murmu, boarding her vehicle along with former President Shri Ramnath Kovind.
काफिला नॉर्थ कोर्ट की ओर बढ़ता हुआ, जहां से अब राष्ट्रपति और पूर्व राष्ट्रपति कमेटी रूम की तरफ जाएंगे।
Here at the North Court, awaiting the arrival of the new president, personnel and staff of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Greeting their new president.
राष्ट्रपति भवन स्वागत कर रहा है नए राष्ट्रपति का, श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू और उनके साथ पूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद।
The president moves towards the committee room and also her new office and her new residence.
राष्ट्रपति भवन के इस भव्य गलियारे पर पूर्व राष्ट्रपतियों के चित्र, कावेरी जो कमेटी रूम है उस ओर प्रस्थान।
This magnificent building, sandstone, pink and cream, the Rashtrapati Bhavan has a fabulous history of its own.
Welcome to Rashtrapati Bhavan, the office and home of the President of India. Completed in 1929, Rashtrapati Bhavan, designed by Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker, is one of the most magnificent presidential palaces ever built. The erstwhile symbol of colonial power and imperial domination is today representative of Indian democracy, of its inclusiveness, plurality and secularism. This is not just the residence of the constitutional head of the world's largest democracy, but also in terms of area, the largest residence of a head of state anywhere in the world. The office of the President is called the Study. This is the formal meeting place for the President where he receives his guests and visitors. Murals by eminent artist Sukumar Bose inspired the look and color scheme of the Study. Gifts received by various presidents adorn the Study. The Study opens into the morning room. The President meets dignitaries here. Each room in the Rashtrapati Bhavan stands witness to history. To restore these to their former glory, the restoration team had to rearrange available resources in view of the heritage nature of the rooms. Work was undertaken in each room to revive its distinct character, just like the way they were originally meant to be. fascinating works of art by reputed Indian and European artists were restored to add character to the walls. Darbar Hall is where the first government of independent India was sworn in. Lutyens designed new viceregal thrones for the Darbar Hall to replace those from Government House in Calcutta. With new flags, paintings and a warm look, Darbar Hall has regained its past grandeur and is now used for hosting civil and defence investiture ceremonies and for conferment of other national and international awards. Next to Darbar Hall is the library. It is also described as the daughter of Darbar Hall. Besides priceless publications from the 19th century onwards, it also has more than 2,000 rare books. They are now being digitized and preserved for posterity. Ashoka Hall was originally built as a state ballroom. It is now the venue for accepting credentials of foreign envoys and other formal functions. Embellishments on the ceilings, carpets and chandeliers reveal the stately splendor of the room. The New Age President's Estate is gearing up to present itself as a prime tourist attraction with 3 distinct tourist circuits: the main building, gardens and museums. Almost 60% of the President's Estate, that is more than 190 acres, is green, comprising dense foliage and rare flora and fauna. Besides the spiritual, herbal, cactus and nakshatra gardens, it includes the sprawling Mughal gardens. Rashtrapati Bhavan, declared a Grade 1 heritage structure in 2009, is an iconic living heritage. Grade 1 heritage structure in 2009 is an iconic living heritage.
तू ना रुकेगा कभी, तू ना झुकेगा कभी.
All right, those were pictures from the ceremony of oath-taking of President of India, Droupadi Murmu, becoming the 15th President of the Republic. And in the pictures, we see the presidential bodyguards giving the national salute to President Murmu after she returned from Parliament Central Hall, where she was given the oath by Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramanna. The ceremony is almost coming to an end, and now, of course, the last bit of formality where President Murmu would give goodbye to former President Ramnath Kovind, after which we would see the end of ceremonies. In fact, Nupur, if I could encapsulate once for the benefit of viewers, what President Murmu said in her acceptance speech post the oath taking. She said that my elevation is not just my achievement, but that of everyone in the country. She in fact emphasized her background when she said, beg your pardon, that my election as president is proof that poor in India can dream and make those dreams come true. She of course also mentioned the fact that she is becoming president in the 75th year of India's independence, and that in itself is significant, that coming from a very poor, humble, tribal, backward background and from one of the most backward regions, someone like her could be becoming the first citizen of the country and the head of the state. And of course, given her tribal background, she mentioned the Santhal Kranti, its role in our freedom struggle. She mentioned Birsa Munda, and of course capped her speech with a tribal poem by medieval poet Saint Bhima Bhoi from Odisha, her home state. That was the speech by Droupadi Murmu. In fact, what struck me was that she came so well prepared. She mentioned that she would be taking extra care of women and youth. She mentioned universities, given the fact that the President of India happens to be the visitor to all universities in the country, the central universities that is, and of course the armed forces, given the fact that as President she would be the Commander-in-Chief of India's armed forces. A very well prepared, well turned out speech there by President Murmu as she takes over from Ramnath Kovind, Nupur.
This choice that's been made by the Prime Minister as the NDA's candidate does have a lot of political thinking behind it as well, because Abhishek, she is the first tribal president from the country, and a woman at that too. So, you know, it's a great combination that the government essentially has put together, so much so that, you know, the opposition actually developed cracks because of the compelling choice that had been made by the Prime Minister as well as you know, the government.
Oh, absolutely. I could give you some details about how the relationship with the relationship of Prime Minister Modi in his executive role, first as Chief Minister of Gujarat and then Prime Minister, has really panned out with the tribal communities across the country. Just 2 points I missed from the speech of Droupadi Murmu, Nupur, and that was her emphasizing the organic relationship which the tribal communities have with nature, the manner in which they worship nature gods, and the fact that she mentioned the upcoming G20 summit. So I think fully into the groove so far as her speech is concerned, and I think I'm being told we have to take a short break, so I'll come to the part of Narendra Modi and tribals a little later.
Absolutely, absolutely. Abhishek, thank you very much for that. In fact, we are now getting news. Right, we're just going to cut across to some breaking news that we are getting about this only, even as the new President of India has taken oaths. The PDP chief, Mehbooba Mufti, has attacked the ex-President Ramnath Kovind. Now, she's tweeted and she said that the outgoing President leaves behind a legacy where the Indian Constitution was trampled upon umpteenth number of times, be it scrapping of Article 370, CAA, or the unabashed targeting of minorities and Dalits. He fulfilled the BJP's political agenda, all at the cost of the Indian Constitution. So that, of course, is a tweet that's just come in from Mehbooba Mufti. Abhishek, if you could just talk about this a bit. You know, many would wonder, Abhishek, if this was the day to come out with a stinging criticism of the government's choices, because at the end of the day, it was a ceremonial day when the next president of the country takes over. Mufti, of course, going on to insult and target the ex-president. Abhishek?
Well, we have seen how the opposition, out of their despair, out of their frustration, have continued to attack institutions. We have seen Mehbooba Mufti, in fact, earlier also, questioning the tricolour, and now in this tweet saying that the outgoing president leaves behind a legacy where the Indian constitution was trampled upon umpteenth times. I think she's talking in the context of Article 370, and she also mentions CAA or the unabashed targeting of minorities and Dalits. She is forgetting, Nupur, that Ramnath Kovind actually came from Dalit community, and she's also not realizing the difference between the constitutional head of state and the head of government, that these actions are taken by the government. Also, Nupur, the fact that we have had presidents like Gyani Jail Singh and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, Mehbooba Mufti, of course, showing certain amnesia about India's history when it comes to presidents. Kavinder Gupta joins us, of the BJP from Jammu and Kashmir. Kavinder Gupta ji, Mehbooba Mufti again going back to harping Article 370 and trying to corner former President Ramnath Kovind on that, not realizing it was part of a national objective, the removal of Article 370. But why target an institution like the Office of the President of India?
देखिए, कुल मिलाकर के उनकी लगातार भारत को ब्लैकमेल करना और भारत जिस प्रकार की कांग्रेस या दूसरी सरकारें रही, उसके कारण से धारा 370 और खास करके इन लोगों को जो एंटी नेशनल एलिमेंट्स थे, इनको प्रमोट किया जाता था। आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने जब इनको नकारा है, इनको रोका है पाकिस्तान प्रस्ती से, ये पैसे लेकर के पाकिस्तान के लिए काम करते थे, वही एजेंडा इनका यहाँ पर था। आज इनको तकलीफ होना स्वाभाविक बात है। देश में एक देशभक्तों की, राष्ट्रभक्तों की सरकार है और उनको उनके द्वारा चुने हुए जो राष्ट्रपति सर्वोच्च पद पर बैठे हैं, तो आज इस एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जो पोस्ट है राष्ट्रपति की, उस पर इस तरह से सवाल खड़े करना, ये एंटी नेशनल बात है। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस प्रकार के लोग जो अपनी दुकानें चलाते रहे हैं, आज इनका बस नहीं चल रहा, और जो कांग्रेस ने और दूसरे लोगों ने इनको हमेशा से सपोर्ट किया है, आज उस पर भी क्वेश्चन मार्क लगा है। और स्वाभाविक बात है, ये फ्रस्ट्रेशन खुल करके सामने आ रही है, इसलिए महबूबा मुफ्ती इस प्रकार की बयानबाजी कर रही है।
कविंदर गुप्ता जी, लगता है आपको कि उनके ऐसा कहने से आर्टिकल 370 की जो परिस्थिति है, जो अब नहीं है वो स्टैट्यूट में, उस पर कोई असर पड़ेगा?
देखिए, जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता जो 70 सालों से लगातार ये धारा 370 के असर के कारण से लद्दाख, जम्मू के साथ भेदभाव करते रहे, और आज लोगों ने उसको सराहा है धारा 370 हटाने को। तो महबूबा मुफ्ती कुछ भी कहें, आने वाला जो इलेक्शन है वो इनको पूरे इस राजनीति से बाहर करने वाला है। तो ये इस प्रकार के एंटी नेशनल बयान दे करके कुछ भी कहें, लेकिन इनका वो काम ये अब चलने वाला नहीं है। वो समय गया जबकि ये धारा 370 के माध्यम से ना यहाँ पर कोई फाइनेंशियल ऑडिट होने देते थे, ना कुछ, और इन्होंने कुल मिलाकर परिवारवाद, भ्रष्टाचार, अलगाववाद, आतंकवाद इन्हीं की देन है। आज धारा 370 हटने के बाद लोग भी खुश और जनता भी खुश।
All right, thank you so much, Kavinder Gupta, there, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. I think we also have Gaurav Bhatia on the phone line. Gaurav Bhatia, Mehbooba Mufti targeting former President Ramnath Kovind and perhaps, pushing in the narrative of her party of a section within Kashmir Valley of Article 370 abrogation. You think that this attack on former president is essentially or more aimed at the government of Narendra Modi?
People like Mehbooba Mufti issuing certificates of how a constitutional authority has fulfilled his obligation under the Constitution is itself to be ignored. Because let's not forget that Ramnath Kovind ji was the epitome of following the precedent set, the constitutional values, and is very well respected. He showed every Indian how you can rise up the ladder and occupy the highest constitutional post through your hard work and perseverance. But Mehbooba Mufti is the one who had said that I will not lift the Tiranga if Article 370 is not restored? Was that constitutional? Mehbooba Mufti should answer. And all her statements incite people. They are divisive in nature. And thus, now she is again yet showing her true colors.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gaurav Bhatia. And we continue our coverage of the ceremonies around oath-taking of new President of India, Droupadi Murmu. Over to Nupur now.
All right. Of course, as Abhishek is pointing out, we have, of course, been seeing the ceremonies that involve the swearing in of the 15th President of India. All right, and still to come on Republic TV, it's a historic day for India as the 15th President was sworn in.
A 34-year-old man from the national capital with no history of foreign travel tested positive for the monkeypox virus, making it the fourth case of the disease reported in India. A resident of West Delhi, the man was isolated at the LNJP hospital in Delhi around 3 days ago after he showed symptoms of the disease. The centre has held a high-level review meeting.
Michelle, first visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India?
Mr. Bhandari, just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Well, you want to say anything, Rahul? Rahul, you want to say anything about the questioning?
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. They're trying to stop the car.
पूरी भीड़ नजर आ रही है और ये भीड़ बता रही है कि लोग रुकने वाले नहीं.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Rajnath Singh is visiting Jammu today. He has cited several occasions of the time that India has given a befitting reply to Pakistan.
पाक ऑक्युपाइड जम्मू कश्मीर यह भारत का हिस्सा था, है और रहेगा. हम इसको मानते रहेंगे बहनों भाइयों से, हम कभी भूलेंगे नहीं.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
थोड़ी कंडीशन नहीं थी, आज काफी हवा थी, पर फिर भी कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा था कि हाँ प्रो लगेगी. लास्ट तक वो मिला अंदर, पर हाँ ठीक है, जितना भी लगाया अच्छा है कि मेडल जिताया है.
The Olympic champion has yet again scripted history at the World Athletics Championship, bagging a silver medal. Neeraj Chopra there, the second Indian to have made history there at the World Athletics Championship.
Rajnath Singh is visiting Jammu today. He has cited several occasions of the time that India has given a befitting reply to Pakistan.
पाक ऑक्युपाइड जम्मू कश्मीर यह भारत का हिस्सा था, है और रहेगा. हम इसको मानते रहेंगे बहनों भाइयों से, हम कभी भूलेंगे नहीं.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
4 gangsters has been arrested along with the arms and ammunition, and they are getting the directions from Lawrence Bishnoi as well as from the Goldie Barat to carry a certain type of extortion racket in Punjab and Haryana as well. This operation was being carried out by STF Haryana. Their interrogation on the same line is being followed.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
national capital with no history of foreign travel tested positive for the monkeypox virus, making it the fourth case of the disease reported in India. A resident of West Delhi, the man was isolated at the LNJP hospital in Delhi around 3 days ago after he showed symptoms of the disease. The centre has held a high-level review meeting.
That is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India?
Mr. Bhandari, just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
You want to say anything, Rahul? Rahul, you want to say anything about the questioning?
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop the car?
पूरी भीड़ नजर आ रही है और ये भीड़ बता रही है कि लोग रुकने वाले नहीं.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Rajnath Singh is visiting Jammu today. He has cited several occasions of the time that India has given a befitting reply to Pakistan.
पाक ऑक्युपाइड जम्मू कश्मीर यह भारत का हिस्सा था, है और रहेगा। हम इसको मानते रहेंगे बहनों भाइयों से, हम कभी भूलेंगे नहीं।
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
थोड़ी कंडीशन नहीं थी, आज अच्छी हवा थी, पर फिर भी कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा था कि हाँ थ्रो लगेगी। लास्ट तक वो मिला अंदर, पर हाँ ठीक है, जितना भी लगाया अच्छा है कि मेडल जिताया है।
The Olympic champion has yet again scripted history at the World Athletics Championship, bagging a silver medal. Neeraj Chopra there, the second Indian to have made history there at the World Athletics Championship.
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू
ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि
ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि
मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन करूंगी।
भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद का कार्यपालन करूंगी।
India gets its historic new president, Droupadi Murmu, as she is sworn in as the 15th president of the country. Droupadi Murmu becomes the youngest and first ever tribal president of India.
कारगिल विजय दिवस भी है। ये दिन भारत की सेनाओं के शौर्य और संयम दोनों का ही प्रतीक है।
In her first speech after being sworn in, President Murmu wishes India on Kargil Divas. From women's rights, youth focus to G20, President Murmu packed it all into her historic first speech in Parliament. She said it's time for India 4.0. West Bengal Minister Partha Chatterjee taken to AIIMS Bhubaneswar. Republic Bangla leads the coverage on the mega scam. We know that news doesn't wait. We know that news is always live and breaking. And we know that you hate missing out on the news. Don't be denied live news anymore. No more fear of missing out. You can watch the news anytime, anywhere, and on any device. All you have to do is open your browser, Google Republic Livestream, and tap to watch the news. We are available on most OTT platforms, and if your platform of choice does not have Republic Livestream, you can ask them to reach out to us and we will make it available. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. I'm Rukma. Well, getting breaking news now on the Har Ghar Tiranga controversy. AIUDF leader has made a shocking statement objecting to the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign.
RSS never raised the Indian flag in their office. So ultimately it is a contradictory, self-contradictory. Now the BJP is in power. They are from the RSS or Rashtriya Sangchab group. They never show any patriotism in this line. They never raise the national flag in their office. So ultimately, it is I think hypocrisy decisions. Everyone holds their national flag in every house. They told already the rupees 16 you will get the national flag. Ultimately, it is the process to get out rupees 16 from every family from their pocket. It is another process to get out the money from their pocket. So I don't think so. Only raise our national flag is prove their patriotism.
So shocking AIUDF leader's statement on the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. He says that it's hypocrisy, the call to hoist the national flag.
देश की प्रथम आदिवासी महिला ने देश के 15वें राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर पदभार संभाल लिया है और इस महत्वपूर्ण घटना के महत्व और प्रभाव को वर्तमान और भविष्य में जाना और समझा जाएगा।
So we have cameras specially positioned inside Rashtrapati Bhavan and of course outside to bring you the detailing from within what is happening, and of course beautiful images of the glorious surroundings and the vistas around. The gathering of the dignitaries here, the 3 service chiefs are here, the Chief of Army Staff, General Manoj Pandey, the Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, and the Naval Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar.
रक्षा मंत्री श्री राजनाथ सिंह, उनके साथ राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार अजीत डोभाल, राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में अंतर सेना गारद,
Awaiting the arrival of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who shall be here shortly to congratulate Srimati Murmu on her taking over as the 15th President of India. And here we see the arrival of his carcade.
गण्यमान्य व्यक्तियों का आगमन कुछ ही देर में राष्ट्रपति भवन में होगा। ये संसद भवन का दृश्य, जहां से गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर प्रस्थान करते हुए
The circular Parliament Hall, we just saw images of that, the historic Vijay Chowk, here we are, the Raisina Hill, all having borne silent testimony to our history of how power has transitioned, about how mantles have been taken over and given away, how decisions are taken on which the future of the nation depends, and they have been witness to all this over the years.
सभी गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति राष्ट्रपति भवन पहुंचकर देश की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति का अभिवादन करेंगे। उत्तरकादर सेना तैनात है।
An inter-services guard of honor here stationed right in the center of the forecourt. The gently tinkling fountains on either side of your screen, adding to the ceremonial air, the gentle tinkling of water down, all a very, very beautiful, serene and gracious surrounding as the frame of this event.
बीचों बीच जयपुर कॉलम या जयपुर स्तंभ 145 फीट ऊंचा है और इधर राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में धीरे धीरे बढ़ता हुआ कारों का काफिला और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का आगमन। ऐतिहासिक अवसर देश की प्रथम आदिवासी महिला ने आज देश के 15वें राष्ट्रपति के तौर पर शपथ ली है, पदभार संभाला है और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण में आगमन।
The head of governance of the largest democracy in the world has arrived here to greet and felicitate the constitutional head of the largest democracy in the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived here.
राष्ट्रपति और राज्यसभा के सभापति श्री वेंकैया नायडू का आगमन।
Shri Venkaiah Naidu taking his seat next to the Prime Minister. There are some very few family members also of the new president here in the audience. People have come from her village, some of them, very few, small number of invitees. Our new president is a simple lady, and I think simplicity is going to be her strength. We have in the audience BJP MLAs from Mayurbhanj district. We also have union ministers, members of parliament, to make President Droupadi Murmu's day all the more special.
उपराष्ट्रपति, प्रधानमंत्री और देश के गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति इस समय राष्ट्रपति भवन में मौजूद हैं नए राष्ट्रपति का स्वागत करने के लिए।
And that's the strength of our democracy. When our new president represents all sections of society, marginalized and mainstream, and to ensure that the marginalized are mainstreamed. That's the true success of democracy. A democracy that continues to revitalize itself, to grow, and to take in its ambit inclusion as its strongest value. Though there are myriad ways of exhibiting inclusion, today's ceremony, Srimati Murmu's election as the President of India, is a prime example.
देश की नई राष्ट्रपति का जीवन, जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं, संघर्ष का पर्याय है और बहुत बड़ा संदेश है उन सब के लिए जो कभी कभी संघर्षों में विचलित होने लगते हैं। संदेश यही है जो उन्होंने अपने जीवन से दिया है कि संघर्ष लगातार करना है और उसके बावजूद कल कौन सी जिम्मेदारी मिलेगी इसकी चिंता किए बगैर अपना काम, अपना कर्तव्य, उसका निर्वहन करना है। देश के सर्वोच्च संवैधानिक पद पर देश की आदिवासी महिला को प्रथम नागरिक बनने तक का जो अवसर मिला है, वो महिलाओं के लिए, बालिकाओं के लिए और हर देशवासी के लिए प्रेरणा का स्रोत है। माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण की ओर अब प्रस्थान कर रही हैं।
A special day also today for the state of Jharkhand. The moment Srimati Murmu's victory was announced, there were celebrations everywhere, and I'm sure today also the state will be celebrating in a very, very special way, and of course a proud moment for all. This is the North Court of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Again, you can see the combination of pink and cream sandstone and beautifully sculpted stone. And the President's limousine, President's cars make their way towards the forecourt, where the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the three service chiefs, and of course cabinet ministers are assembled and waiting for her.
इतिहास में दर्ज होते हुए ये क्षण, ये पल देश की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति
now the inspection of the Guard of Honor.
निरीक्षण के लिए अधिकृत
और अब अंतर सेना कारत का निरीक्षण माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी द्वारा। अंतर सेना गारद का निरीक्षण संपन्न। राष्ट्रपति तीनों सेनाओं के सर्वोच्च कमांडर होते हैं। माननीय राष्ट्रपति द्वारा ये निरीक्षण हुआ और अब अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए यहाँ उपस्थित गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति।
As the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, the President of India, Srimati Droupadi Murmu, inspects her first Guard of Honor. And now alights at the saluting base here at the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan to be greeted, to be wished and to intermingle with the dignitaries present here. the President, after being wished by all here, boards a vehicle.
भारत को बदलते हुए देख रही है दुनिया। यहां से भारत की गौरव गाथा में एक और अध्याय जुड़ता है।
Another smooth transition of power and position. And as the mantle of the constitutional head as President of the country is donned by Srimati Droupadi Murmu, a new responsibility comes her way. With her previous background, with her wisdom, with her knowledge and experience, she is sure to take this democracy forward with the right values.
भारत की गौरव गाथा और उपलब्धियों में सबको साथ लेकर चलने की जब बात आती है तो ऐसी घटनाएं और ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण मोड़ इतिहास में दर्ज हो जाते हैं। आज ऐसा ही अवसर है जिसका समाज के हर तबके पर, हर वर्ग पर गहरा असर पड़ेगा।
In today's world, when the rate of change is so fast, when memories are forgotten even before they are made, certain pictures of this ceremony will always be etched with us. Because these are special memories. These are memories capturing tradition, transition. These are memories that help the present understand that there was a past that anchors them and there is a future which they will have to create, which then anchors future generations. It is this passing of the baton, it is this passing of responsibility that makes democracy seamless. Because people come and go, but the country forever is on the move, is always there, is constant. And as the largest reservoir of human resource in the world today, with the youngest population, India has a huge role to play.
पूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद की पत्नी श्रीमती सविता कोविंद राष्ट्रपति भवन से प्रस्थान कर रही हैं। पूर्व राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद का अब नया निवास 12 जनपथ होगा।
I'm sure it's a sentimental and a nostalgic moment for the family of the former president. 5 eventful years, 5 years of eventful memories have been made here. And the show must go on.
बदलाव प्रकृति का नियम है। एक कार्यकाल पूरा होता है, दूसरा प्रारंभ। और आज ये सब हम सब ने देखा पूरी भव्यता के साथ, और हम आज इस महत्वपूर्ण अवसर पर इस घटना के साक्षी बने।
The engines of democracy carry on.
जब दिन निकला था तो उस समय लग रहा था कि बारिश किसी भी समय हो सकती है, लेकिन अब इस समय धूप बीच बीच में जब भी निकल रही है बादलों में से, काफी तेज उमस से भरा दिन। बारिश शायद कभी भी आए, लेकिन फिलहाल इस समय यहां राष्ट्रपति भवन में गतिविधियां लगातार जारी हैं। वर्तमान राष्ट्रपति के साथ पूर्व राष्ट्रपति,
the predecessor and the successor, our former president and current president, both together, and will now go to the dignitaries there at the forecourt, the central part of the forecourt. It's been a hectic day for everyone here at Rashtrapati Bhavan. A lot of preparations, making sure everything is in order as per protocol to be followed. Lots of activity happening.
पूरा कार्यक्रम इस तरह से होता है कि आप घड़ियां मिला सकते हैं। प्रोटोकॉल का और समय को देखते हुए पूरा उसका हिसाब रखा जाता है।
The guard commanded to stand at attention.
समारोह धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ता हुआ नए राष्ट्रपति का स्वागत और पूर्व राष्ट्रपति को विदाई।
सेना सम्मान कार्ड निरीक्षण के लिए हजरत।
The Guard Commander requesting former President Kovind to inspect the guard. Mixed emotions, I'm sure, going through former President Kovind as he remembers his time 5 years ago when he came in here, a tenure well lived, a tenure well served. A grateful nation thanks him. And now the band will strike up a slow march for the inspection.
देश की सेवा करने का, अपने कार्य को संपन्न करने का जो भाव मन में आता है उसे शब्दों में व्यक्त करना असंभव। धन्यवाद भी, आभार भी। सम्मान गारद का निरीक्षण संपन्न।
Gratitude and greetings going side by side.
अभिवादन भी, आभार भी और विदाई भी।
As the band picks up a quick march and the guard marches off, smiling faces greet the former president as he interacts with the people he had a close association with, built a close rapport with during his tenure. Memories made, memories imprinted, and of course relationships built.
मन के भाव चेहरों पर।
exchanging of notes, conversations, and I'm sure relationships which will carry on into the future. Nostalgic moment for the former president as he's accompanied by the president, Srimati Murmu.
राष्ट्रपति की राष्ट्रपति भवन से औपचारिक विदाई।
Formal farewell to Shri Kovind. And as the presidential car drives away, we salute this great nation once again for its culture, tradition, customs, and of course its people. Trumpeter signaling a respectful farewell, the president's bodyguard now escorting the vehicle from the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan.
राष्ट्रपति की कारों का काफिला एक बार फिर बढ़ चला है। साथ में उनके घुड़सवार अंगरक्षक राष्ट्रपति भवन आज नए राष्ट्रपति का स्वागत कर रहा है तो पूर्व राष्ट्रपति को विदाई भी दे रहा है।
A truly traditional and ceremonial send-off, lining the sides of the entrance, the president's bodyguard paying full respect to their former chief, the Supreme Commander. A picture speaks 1,000 words. moments captured for eternity. The presidential vehicle escorted with full honor from the official abode of the President of India, and in it, former President Shri Kovind, along with India's 15th President, Srimati Droupadi Murmu, seeing him off.
और अब राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का प्रस्थान।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was here to welcome the new president and say goodbye to the former president, now is aboard his vehicle and is leaving the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan after a ceremony that made many memories.
एक यादगार समारोह जिसकी यादें हम सबके न सिर्फ मन में रहेंगी बल्कि इतिहास में दर्ज हो चुकी हैं। वो यादें ऐतिहासिक और भव्य राष्ट्रपति भवन जो आज के इस समारोह का साक्षी है, स्वागत कर रहा है देश के 15वें राष्ट्रपति का। आज 25 जुलाई सन 2022 को देश में 15वें राष्ट्रपति ने शपथ ली है। बदलते भारत में बहुत कुछ बदला है और सोच भी बदली है। भविष्य में लोग जानेंगे किस तरह ये बदलाव कब हुआ, इसके प्रमाण यहां मिलेंगे। इस अभूतपूर्व बदलाव को देश और दुनिया ने देखा। इतिहास भी इन पलों को इतिहास में दर्ज होते हुए देख रहा है। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
All right, so pictures on your screen were of the former president of the country being escorted out of the Rashtrapati Bhavan by the new president who was sworn in this morning. Ramnath Kovind over there being bid farewell by Droupadi Murmu. You are watching Republic TV and we will continue to bring you the latest on the swearing in of the new president.
Reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
That is Christian Michelle. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India?
Just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Hey, you want to say anything, Rahul? Rahul, you want to say anything about the questioning?
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop the car?
पूरी भीड़ नजर आ रही है और ये भीड़ बता रही है कि लोग रुकने वाले नहीं। Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Rajnath Singh is visiting Jammu today. He has cited several occasions of the time that India has given a befitting reply to Pakistan.
Now moving on to news that we are just getting on the Har Ghar Tiranga controversy. Now the AIUDF leader has made a shocking statement and objected to the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. Do remember that Har Ghar Tiranga campaign is being looked upon as an innovative campaign by the union government. Now, under the campaign, of course, we are seeing the hoisting of the national flag between the 13th of August and the 15th of August to commemorate India completing 75 years of independence. Into the reaction that we've got from this, from the AIUDF.
RSS never raised the Indian flag in their office. So ultimately it is a contradictory, self-contradictory. Now the BJP is in power. They are from the RSS or Rashtriya Sangchab group. They never show any patriotism in this line. They never raise the national flag in their office. So ultimately, it is, I think, hypocrisy decisions. Everyone holds their national flag in every house. They told already the ₹16 you will get the national flag. Ultimately, it is the process to get out ₹16 from every family from their pocket. It is another process to get out the money from their pocket. So I don't think so. Only raise our national flag is prove their patriotism.
And Aniruddha, in fact, is reporting on this from Guwahati. Aniruddha, the leader over there saying that this is just an attempt to make people shell out about 16 rupees and it is not patriotism. What kind of response is that comment getting?
Yes, this is a massive controversial statement being given out by the AIUDF General Secretary, that is Aminul Islam, who is also an elected member of the Assam Legislative Assembly. This comes after Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has made it very clear that not only legally one should be a citizen of the country, but also there is a need to bind with the emotion that is attached to the patriotism, and also that by hosting the national flag outside their homes from 13th of August to 15th of August, one will not only prove his patriotism, but it is to connect with the nation at this moment when the country celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the 75th year of independence, that one needs to connect with the country emotionally too. This statement is definitely not a welcoming step, and we are also getting in reactions from various quarters of the society who have actually condemned this entire statement made by the AIUDF leader, and definitely Nupur, as we speak throughout the day on these various reactions, will be definitely pouring in more and more. Nupur.
Now, any comment, Aniruddha, that's coming in from the ruling BJP in Assam, because we have seen the kind of push that's been given by state governments also to this Har Ghar Tiranga initiative that has been launched.
Yes, in fact, if we look into this statement made by the AIDF leader, remember on Friday, another AIDF leader also made a similar statement. However, in his statement, another general secretary of the party had welcomed the move by the Prime Minister of India that Har Ghar Tiranga needs to be hoisted. However, he never shied away from criticizing the RSS on that day too. And today also, as this statement from AIDF leader Aminul Islam comes in, the BJP is going to counter this, and we are expecting some reactions from the BJP in a short while from now.
All right, of course, as you're pointing out, this is not the first time that the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign has actually landed in controversy. You were, of course, taking us through the comments that we've been seeing from the AIUDF, but this particular one, essentially says that this is an attempt to take about 16 rupees from the people. Now, what kind of reactions is that getting?
Yes, Nupur, if we look at the reaction being given out by the AIDF leader Aminul Islam, then definitely this is not an welcoming reaction at all, because hoisting the tricolor or and buying the tricolor will not only strengthen the patriotism, but also it will strengthen the rural economy, because it is the Khadi and Gramudyog artisans who will be making this tricolor. And in Assam, around 80 lakhs of the tricolors are being manufactured, and the government has streamlined the entire process in order to make it available to every village, every panchayat in the country. And that is the reason why the ration shops, the government ration shops, this is the place where these flags will be made available. So yes, this comment by the AIDF leader is not only controversial, but it is also an insult, particularly to the artisans, to the rural artisans of the country.
Well, absolutely. As you're pointing out, of course, the Assam government has also set out the target of manufacturing those flags. It's about 80 lakh, which will be then given. So in that scenario also, Anirudh, give us more details of how the state government plans to implement this new initiative of the centre.
Yes, Nupur, the state government has made it very clear that in Assam there are 80 lakh households, and in all those 80 lakh households, the tricolor should be hoisted from 13th of August to 15th of August. And the state government, as I was mentioning, has streamlined the entire process. Flags will be available in the nearest ration shops, in every panchayat, in every village, and in every...
Anirudh, of course, is bringing us those details. Thank you. And we are now getting more news. We are learning that trouble is mounting for Aditya Thackeray. The Maharashtra government has now ordered a review of all development work and projects that were sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray. Now, this in a context of his constituency, that's Worli, allegedly being given relatively more funds. Also, the project sanctioned as Environment and Tourism Minister in the last 2.5 years. So, news coming in just to tell our viewers that all the projects and development work that have been sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray, who of course happens to be an MLA from Worli, is going to be looked into. Now, these are also, there are allegations that his constituency of Worli got more funds as compared to others. Let's go across to Alisha, who's got more details on this. Alisha, good afternoon. Give us more details of what we are picking up on this.
Well, yes, Nupur, it's indeed more trouble for Aditya Thackeray, because central government had ordered for the development of that has been sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray as the Environment and Tourism Minister for the last 2.5 years. So what we have been told that this is a request that was made by Maharashtra government, because our sources indicated that this is in context of his constituency, that is Worli constituency, relatively getting more funds, after which there was a request that was made by Maharashtra government to the centre, the request that was accepted, and now the central government has ordered for a review of all the development works and projects that was sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray as the Environment and Tourism Minister for the last 2.5 years. So all the projects that has been sanctioned, all the work that has been sanctioned, so that is going to be reviewed by the central government, and it's indeed a major trouble for Aditya Thackeray, because many of the projects, we know that in the last 2.5 years when he was Environment and Tourism Minister, he has sanctioned many of the projects relatively, and more importantly what we have been told that there are more funds that was sanctioned for his constituency, that is Worli constituency, so that will also be reviewed by the central government, and from the Ministry of Home, which will send a team, what we have been told, to review all those development works and projects that were sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray.
So what you are saying is, Alisha, that not just projects in Worli, but also projects that were sanctioned for the entire state of Maharashtra, are those also under perhaps a review, as he was the Environment Minister for the state?
Well, yes, Nupur, we know that right after Eknath Shinde became the Chief Minister, he's been looking into the matter, and of course he's been in contact with all the department. And what we got to know that Maharashtra government, right after reviewing all the constituencies and the work that was done by previous, that is Uddhav government, that work has been under the scrutiny, and after which Maharashtra government has made a request to the central government. And now central government has given an order to review all the development works and projects that were sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray as the Environment and Tourism Minister for the last 2.5 years. So yes, there were many projects, and importantly what the sources have indicated, that this is in contest with the constituency of his constituency, that is Worli constituency, relatively getting more funds is what we have been told, and that is under the scanner of central government now, because right after the request that was made by Maharashtra government, and now the central government is going to do the audit of all the development work, the fund that was released in the name of development for the many of the projects, that will be under the scrutiny, that will be under the radar, and now that is something the audit is going to be made over the project that has been sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray when he was Environment and Tourism Minister.
All right, I think Rukma is also joining us right now from our Delhi studios.
Alisha, this is Rukma here. Well, many thanks, Nupur. And Alisha, taking over from Nupur, trouble for Aditya Thackeray. All in all, approximately how many projects would you say he could have sanctioned in the past 2.5 years? So, well, the process will begin now, perhaps, of unearthing those projects. But all in all, how many projects would that be, really, in the Worli area?
Well, there are many of the projects that has been sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray as an Environment and Tourism Minister, but also for his Worli constituency. Well, as of now, we know that the number of projects, as you've been asking, but we know that being a minister, there are several projects that were sanctioned. There were several funds that was taken from the central government, and that is where Maharashtra government, the new Maharashtra government under Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis, is talking to every department. We know that the work that has been done by the previous government, that is Uddhav Thackre's government, and that is under the scrutiny, and Eknath Shinde has been looking after each and every department. And of course, there are some of the fault that might have been found out by Eknath Shinde, which is why the letter that was given by Maharashtra government, the request letter that was given to central government to look into it, and after which what we know that the central government has already ordered for audit of all the development works and projects that was sanctioned by Aditya Thackeray for the last 2.5 years. Even we know that if talk about RA colony, because the RA car shed, metro car shed that was being put on hold by the previous government has now been sanctioned by Eknath Shinde, and Devendra Fadnavis government, and of course there were also the stay that was given, and the order given by Maharashtra government is after the sanction that was given by High Court. So now we know that Maharashtra government, even if there is no, as of now there is no for cabinet expansion, but all the department has been taken into the radar, and they were scrutinizing what are the decision that has been taken by the previous government, that is the minister. Now it's a trouble for Aditya Thackeray.
So BJP protesting there in the national capital against the Aam Aadmi Party's excise policy. The BJP earlier too had held protests in the national capital regarding this, citing various examples of where there were, as it said, its leaders said, there were violations of the excise policy, particularly the liquor policy. And earlier too we had seen how the BJP in its protest has demanded the resignation of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, who is in charge of excise. Meanwhile, as you can see in those visuals, BJP workers protesting against the Aam Aadmi Party's excise policy, in particular against the Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital. Policemen there in the area rounding workers up, appealing to them to. Our correspondent Piyush Mishra is on the scene. Piyush, what can you tell us about these protests? When did they begin? We can see that, they are about this the slogan shouting regarding the AAP's excise policy once again.
Well, yes, these are the pictures coming in from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, which is at the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg in national capital, where the protest is underway, and that is being done by BJP, Delhi BJP, under the leadership of its president Adesh Gupta, and Ramveer Singh Vidodi, also who is another BJP leader. So top leaders are right now present there, and they are protesting against Aam Aadmi Party's new excise policy. They are saying that huge corruption has been done by Aam Aadmi Party government. Around 144 crore rupees were waived of all liquor cartel, and it has somewhere, it has somewhere costed to the exchequer. That is why BJP workers are now protesting. We can also see the pictures coming in of these BJP workers being detained by the Delhi police officers. The workers of BJP continue to raise slogans against Aam Aadmi Party. On the other side, Aam Aadmi Party is saying that they have nothing to do in this. In fact, Arvind Kejriwal had done a press conference and had stressed on the fact that the central government wanted to arrest Manish Sisodia since so long, and now they have come out with a conspiracy, and they are following step by step as to how to arrest Manish Sisodia. But the kind of statements also those have been issued by the top officers from the LG office. They have made it very clear as to how during the time of pandemic, instead of working for the people of Delhi, instead of providing oxygen to the people of Delhi and looking for the best, the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi waived off more than 144 crore rupees of all liquor cartels, and in lieu of that, they allegedly got a huge amount of donations which they reportedly used for the Punjab elections. That is what the allegation also coming in from the BJP. We'll have to wait and watch for how long this politics will take place, but BJP this time is very much adamant to seek answers from Arvind Kejriwal, from Aam Aadmi Party, from Manish Sisodia, and that is why we are seeing a series of protests taking place, not only at Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, but also yesterday protest took place at Manish Sisodia's residence. Not only BJP, but Congress Party has also upped the ante against Aam Aadmi Party and demanding answers from the party which had basically promised to people that it will work to eradicate corruption and had come in the power. We'll have to wait and watch what steps the Delhi police is now going to take. But the pictures coming in of these workers of BJP raising slogans against Aam Aadmi Party, and they're also being right now being detained. In fact, multiple layers of barricading has been done by Delhi police so that there is no law and order situation takes place. Arvind Kejriwal led the Aam Aadmi Party and its workers, they continue to defend themselves, and they're saying that it is a conspiracy which is being done by BJP. In fact, we already strained relationship between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP continue to plummet on the kind of allegations, on the kind of recommendation of a CBI probe which was done by Delhi LG. On that, we saw BJP demanding answers from Aam Aadmi Party, though Aam Aadmi Party is saying that they have got a good amount of money in return. In fact, the government was benefited because of its new excise policy, but the officers from LG office, they have given a point-to-point rebuttal to all the claims and the defense which is coming in from Aam Aadmi Party. They have said that in the last 5 years, the revenue of Delhi government has decreased from around 1,400 crore to 500 crore, which is certainly telling us to how the exchequer money has been looted by Aam Aadmi Party government. This is what the LG officers have also told us.
It's a 144 crore scam. That's what the BJP is saying. 144 crore scam. That's what the BJP is saying, Piyush. And even as we speak, protesters there gathered outside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters in New Delhi, resuming their protests, demanding some answers from the ruling party of the national capital. Meanwhile, let's listen in to more details about the case from an Aam Aadmi Party.
दुर्गेश पाठक मौजूद हैं। दुर्गेश, लगातार हम देख रहे हैं कि भाजपा हमलावर हो गई है। वो कह रही है कि चाहे एक्साइज पॉलिसी की बात की जाए, सत्येंद्र जैन को लेकर बात की जाए कि आम आदमी पार्टी जो है वो करप्शन में सबसे आगे है, सिर्फ ये लोग दिखावा करते हैं कि ऐसा नहीं।